Hi, everyone. Sorry I have to be gone again today. My son is not allowed to go back to daycare again, so I'm sharing the day with him, with my husband. So he's waiting at home for me to get home so I can watch my kid. So anyway, we're going to keep going forward with our Sgraffito project. Here's your goals for the day. You want to cover your mold with plastic wrap. So that means you are choosing either the oval plate or the round plate, and you're going to need to get one for yourself and keep it in your, keep it for you now. And then you're going to cover it with plastic wrap. There's two things of plastic wrap. They're in the drawer that says plastic wrap. So you don't need a whole, a lot. If you need some assistance, hopefully you can do this. It's not super hard, but pull it out, just get a sheet, and you want to drape that over your plate, and then you can secure it with a little bit of masking tape if you want. There's couple rolls of masking tape in the tape drawer. So you just kind of cover it like that a little bit, put some tape on it so it doesn't fall off while you're working on your other stuff. It doesn't have to be fully wrapped like all the way around. You just need something between your clay and your plate so that later on we can get the plate pulled off of it. Okay, so cover with plastic wrap. You're going to roll out a slab approximately 3/8 inches thick. So if you're doing the oval plate, we measured it, and you need somewhere between 3¼ to 3½ pounds of clay for this. Make sure you flatten it out a good amount before you try to run it through the slab roller. And remember, when you run through the slab roller, it's going to make it longer. So start it off a pretty good, kind of thickness. Smush it out first the best you can, and then roll it through because you need it to be pretty long to cover this whole thing. And then, so oval, you're doing 3¼ to 3½ pounds of clay. If you're doing the round plate, you only need about 2 pounds of clay. And then you're going to roll out the slab, and you're going to drape it on here. So after you get out your slab, drape it on here, and then you can use a damp yellow sponge and just kind of use that to gently smush the clay kind of all around the plate. Just kind of flatten it out. You're not smearing. You don't need to spend a lot of time. This is not the refining stage. You're just using it to gently kind of coax it to lay down a little bit more, cut off the extra clay, and you can put that back as long as you haven't squished it up a whole bunch of times. If it's fresh clay and you just cut off the edges, that can go back in the clay container. It doesn't have to be reclaimed. And then make sure you wrap up your plate, your thing completely. The clay stays on the mold. Put the whole thing in the trash bag and close it up, and we'll work on it tomorrow as well. For the rest of the time, you should be working on your design for your Sgraffito. And if you have not done the pinch pot rattle self-reflection, which there are 19 of you that have not turned it in, please make sure you do that. So wrap up your plate tonight. If it gets too dry, as that clay will start to shrink, and then it'll crack because it has nowhere to go. It has that plate underneath it. So make sure you wrap it up really well. Here's two Sgraffito things. The one on the left, it's okay. It's pretty much just a few lines, right, to make a design. The one on the right has a lot of different line qualities: curvy lines, straight lines, some thicker lines, some thin lines. It has some interesting shapes. So as you're developing your design for your Sgraffito, be thinking about that. How many different kinds of lines can you have? Thick lines, thin lines. Some areas that I carve away all the way. Some areas that I leave the solid color of the underglaze. The more variety you have, the more interesting this is going to be. Okay, so that's what you are working on today. If you have any questions, as always, you can ask Jason. Okay, I will plan to see you on Friday, and please make sure you do your studio job. And I think that's all I need to tell you. Email me if you have questions. Bye.